Watch out, fat families.
It's time to get off your wobbly bums and melt that lard.
I'm Steve Miller, no-nonsense fat buster. I'm here to stamp out the obesity epidemic that is sweeping the UK. One massive family at a time. I'm about to meet a family of Essex fatties for whom losing weight is literally a matter of life or death. They've asked for my help to trim them down before they suffer any real heartache. Meet the Huzzies, Phil, Jan and their 24-year-old daughter Kaylee. This tiny trio are the picture of perfect health. Wrong! They actually look like this. Three massive fatties who are troubling the scales at a combined weight of 57 stone. Phil and Jan live near Chelmsford with their youngest daughter, Chloe, while Kaylee is her big sister in more ways than one.
Over the last few years, I've gained a lot more weight.
This young mum lives nearby, but comes over almost every day. Until recently, Phil and Jan were living the good life in Spain.
We've just been on a high, we've had fun, and now we're paying the price for it.
For year upon year, they've been eating and drinking like there's no tomorrow. They love to cook creamy cakes almost as much as they like gobbling them up.
Is that my half and is that your half?
And their signature dish is the giant oily curry.
That looks superb, I could eat that now, but it's not cooked.
But the biggest fat culprit of all is the booze.
Was that a new one?
Phil and Jan have been drinking more than 5 times the recommended daily limit.
I could drink up to 2 bottles of wine, and then I'll have a brandy, because that sort of calms me down a bit.
Life for the Huzzies has been one long party. But 8 weeks ago, the calories and cholesterol finally caught up with Phil when he suffered a double heart attack.
I started sweating and coming over hot, very hot and clammy. It touched my skin, it was cold, and I knew there was something wrong then.
The blood had gone from the whole of his body. He was like grey. I'll never forget that. It was a very worrying and stressful time for us all.
Incredibly, despite Phil almost dying, the Huzzies are still eating and drinking far too much. Between them, they're gulping down a double helping of 11,500 calories a day. At 5'9", 45-year-old Phil should weigh up to 12 stone, but he's almost double that at 22 stone 4.
I can't afford to carry on putting more weight on and having another heart attack. I'm more concerned about my children and my wife, leaving them with nothing and causing them grief in the rest of their lives.
Jan is also 45 and her giant portions have helped her pack on 19 stone. That's more than twice her recommended weight, and she's still getting bigger.
During the last 4 weeks, I've put on nearly almost a stone, and I can't believe that I've done that. I've got to do something about it. I can't keep living like this.
24-year-old Kaylee may be the slimmest, but at 14.5 stone, she's already well on the way to filling her mum's rather large trousers.
Sometimes I could really cry for Kaylee because I know exactly what she's going through, and I'd hate her to live her life the way I've had to live mine. I really want to lose weight now. I'm sick of being fat and I don't want to get any fatter.
I'm no-nonsense fat buster Steve Miller. I used to be a fatty myself, but now I help others to banish their bulges. Over the next 12 weeks, I'll be working with the Huzzies before the next stone Phil puts on is the one on his grave.
Hello. How are you doing?
Hello.
Hi.
I'm moving in for the day to find out where all that weight has come from.
Why do you think you are so fat? What's caused it?
Eating. We eat and eat.
Yeah.
We really enjoy our food and we love socialising, don't we? And we like drinking. I think food and drink like us as much as we like them.
Yeah.
Well, she certainly likes a drop of oil. I need to see the problem for myself, so today I'll be eating and drinking exactly the same as the Huzzies.
What sort of food do you eat at the moment that you want to stop eating?
All this sort of thing.
So why are we eating it today, then?
Because we can. We can't soon.
Can't soon? Phil's heart attack was caused by cholesterol, and these bacon rolls are laden with saturated fat. These two need a good ticking off, but for today, I'm just here to observe.
We just need that little bit of a push. We have cut down, but not enough.
Do you not think, though, that it's just common sense what to eat and drink to be slimmer?
Although it's common sense, something's telling you you want to eat it, so you eat it.
OK, I admit they're delicious, but 2 rolls each adds up to a whopping 800 calories. I can already feel my belt getting tighter. As it's a weekday, Kaylee's at work. Phil is taking time off while he recovers from his heart attack. But all this rest is having an unfortunate side effect.
For the minute Phil gets up, the first thing he'll do is walk in and he'll put that television on. And the last thing he'll do before he goes to bed is turn it off.
Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with a bit of telly, but 8 hours on your backside is excessive in anyone's book. And I bet the only exercise they're getting is the walk to the kitchen and back.
About 11's is done. A nice cup of tea and a cake or something, a donut or something.
No, I've got some nice donuts. Do you want a jam donut?
2 bacon butties followed by 2 jam donuts. That's more than 1,200 calories so far, and it's not even midday. But it's not all about Phil. Being 19 stone and counting must take its toll on Jan too.
If you were to think of 3 words to describe how you feel when you get up in the morning, at the moment, what 3 words would they be?
I think at the moment I'd feel fat, lazy and no confidence. I'm happy with a circle of friends, but if I go somewhere that I don't really know anyone, and I'd rather just stay indoors.
I see you as a glamour woman. I do.
Don't know about that.
Jan, I do, honestly. I mean, you're gorgeous anyway, but I know you can be even more glamorous.
Yeah.
I absolutely know that.
Hidden behind the fat.
Poor Jan is feeling so low about herself, but with my hard work and regime change, I'm sure I can get her to feel confident again.
I think this family's biggest obstacle is the booze. Tonight, the Huzzies are having a party, and judging by this lot, it's going to be another massive calorie binge.
I know that I would definitely have a few beers, a few glasses of wine, and I probably would have a vodka with cream soda, I suppose.
Do you think you'll drink a bottle of wine? A full bottle? Do you think you'll get through that? And...
Yeah, I think I could easily drink a bottle of wine, for, you know.
You've had a heart attack. I'm getting worried about you.
Yeah, I have.
That sounds a lot to me.
Drinking and eating is all I've ever done in the last 15 years.
I'm worried Phil might not last the next 15 minutes, especially with this lot on the barbecue. The guests are here and the booze is starting to flow.
A drink for the cook. I've got a bit of meat.
Another bottle of wine. Are you losing count?
I am.
I've spent the whole day with the Huzzies, and to be quite honest, right now I feel that you could roll me all the way home. Well, tomorrow things change because they start to live life my way. I've asked the Huzzies to meet me in a very appropriate location, a London bar. This is a lovely family, but they can't go on burying their heads in the sand any longer. These guys are in desperate need of a wake-up call.
I want to talk about yesterday. Yesterday was a very cosy, cuddly day. But as far as I'm concerned, cuddly and cosy doesn't get results. Cuddly and cosy will just keep you fat. And there's one really serious thing here. Phil, tell me what your granddad and your dad died of.
He died of heart attacks.
Heart disease runs in your family, Phil, and things have got to change because if you carry on with the habits you are, the heart attack could be around the corner sooner than you think. I think you two guys, to be quite frank, are in denial.
I don't think we're in denial. We believe that we've cut down loads to what we used to have, but it's quite clearly not good enough.
Lucky you never see what we ate before then, really.
Yeah.
There's something I want to show you that you two may be purchasing if things don't change.
I know it may seem harsh, but I really want to give them as much motivation as possible to get back to healthy ways.
It's got to change, guys. I am not prepared to allow that to happen.
It won't happen.
Right, it's not. If things don't change, That is the possibility. That is the real world.
We know that, though. We do understand that. And that's why we want to change.
Coming up, the Huzzies get another reality check.
I never want to see this again. Never.
But for once, I'm actually getting somebody to put weight on. Very similar size to your mum. After a recent heart attack, I'm worried that Phil Huzzy could be on a one-way ticket to the morgue. He's still cramming in fatty home-cooked food and gallons of alcohol.
I think I've got a drink problem.
And the rest of the family aren't much better. I'm Steve Miller, straight-talking fat buster. I'm spending a week trying to get these three slimmer and healthier before it's too late. I've already started to turn the tables with the first of my shock tactics. It looks harsh, but to get these guys properly motivated, I'm going to have to go even further.
You don't get fat overnight, and the Huzzies have got used to their big bellies gradually, but for the first time ever, they are going to come face to face with the full horror of their fat.
For my second reality check, I'm taking the Huzzies into the studio for a no-holds-barred tour of their own bodies.
It's gross, there's no other word.
Why's that got to go, Phil?
Because it's killing me, isn't it? There's no way of putting it. No one wants to die at an early age, and if I don't change what I'm doing, I will do. It has really come home to me about how big I am. It's not been a very nice experience at all.
What do you see?
Fat blob. Just looks massive.
Is that shocked you?
That one has.
Right. It's all right, love. Come on. It's all right, we're going to do something about it.
I don't think Kaylee has ever taken a proper look at herself. For a young woman, it can be quite a shock.
Jan, we'll start at the legs.
Is that an elephant? Oh my God. Can't even look at it. It's dreadful.
And what are you thinking as you see it?
It's awful. It's ugly. It's horrible. I can't believe I'm that fat. I never want to see this again. Never. I still can't believe I'm that big. But it quite clearly is me, so...
Jan definitely wants to look and feel much better about herself, and that's motivation for you, but it's not enough. The real problem in this family, it's much more than skin deep.
Huge overconsumption and no exercise is a ticking time bomb. It's my third day with the Huzzies, and I'm sending them for an intensive medical with obesity expert Professor David McCarthy.
Well, when we laid on the bed with the mask on, the good thing is it was a very comfortable mattress. The bad thing is I think I fell asleep and snored a bit.
After Phil's heart attack, he might not be shocked by the state of his health, but the others have no idea what damage is being done.
Now, the thing that concerns me most is you do have abnormal liver function.
This could be a consequence of a high alcohol consumption or part of something known as the metabolic syndrome, and you're displaying a number of the features of metabolic syndrome already. Abdominal obesity, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and that can be life-threatening.
I get the feeling Phil has heard this before, but for a family used to laughing everything off, this lot have gone awfully quiet.
Jan, 52% of your body is fat. That's over half of you is fat. Everything else was fine.
Right.
We just need to get rid of a lot of fat.
Got to get rid of the woman that's with me.
I'm genuinely pleased that Jan is healthy, but if she keeps putting weight on, that can't continue much longer.
Kaylee, I want to talk through your results now, and there's one in particular that is quite worrying. You do have high cholesterol. And David, what are the dangers of not treating high cholesterol?
Well, high cholesterol is eventually going to have an effect on how well your heart functions, and at some point that could lead to a heart attack.
Knowing that her dad's heart attack was caused by cholesterol, it's the one piece of news Kaylee didn't want to hear.
I'm sure you'd agree it's critically important we get that cholesterol down.
I really don't want Kaylee to make the same mistakes her parents have, so I've lined up one final surprise just for her.
Whilst Phil and Jan are the heavyweights in this family, Kaylee really is on the slippery slope to becoming a massive fatty, and she needs to realise just what life will be like if she keeps putting the thunder on those thighs. I want you to imagine for a minute life being as big as your mum, size 22, 24.
Right.
So I've bought, oh, it's so heavy as it is, a Steve Miller fat suit. Grab this, step into it. Yes. There you go. Now this is very similar size, whoa, to what
Oh my God.
your mum is at the moment. Right, it's very tight round the back.
Gosh, got
so
big
I shall
boobs.
leave it like that. Okay,
Yeah.
there's the top. That's the size that your mum is at the moment. Put the bottoms on.
Now this is going to be the worst.
Yeah, imagine, yeah, but this is how it'd be. This is what it would be like.
I can't do it.
Yeah, because the fat is actually preventing you putting them on.
I can't get my bum in. I'm knackered already.
You said it. We haven't quite finished yet. Because to make you really experience it, put these on your wrist. Weights that will help you understand what it feels like to be weighted down.
My body feels tired already and I haven't even moved.
Fat people get tired very, very quickly. Well, we haven't finished yet. We're off into the garden.
It's one thing being 19 stone, it's another thing moving that weight around. If I'm going to convince Kaylee not to follow in Mum's footsteps, I need to show her that there's no fun in fat.
And
I feel worn out.
she's worn out. She's worn out. Yeah?
It's such
you
an
want
effort.
look, this? Yeah, that's what's going to happen. You are going to feel worn out. Get down that garden and do some digging. That's it. Right. Bend down. Bend down. I tell you what. Bend down and pull them weeds. Pull those weeds. Right, bend down. That's it. The message will get through one way or another.
Poor girl.
You're tired? Right, off you go. It's time for action.
God knows what that weight must do to your bones. It was horrible. It makes me feel like I definitely don't want to get as big as my mum.
These guys have now got all the motivation they need, and for the rest of the week, I'll be showing them exactly how to trim down. They'll be melting that fat before they know it. But first, I need to deal with where all those lardy calories are coming from.
The Huzzies love their home cooking, but Phil's normal curry is like a heart attack with rice. For years, they've been drowning everything in gallons of oil or mountains of butter. But the drought starts today. While Kaylee is at work, I'm taking Jan and Phil for a cookery lesson. These guys are curry fanatics, so I've asked Chef Manisha Bharadwaj to prove that Indian food doesn't have to be fatty.
Phil, what I want you to do in this dish is to pour how much oil you would normally use in a family curry.
Okay.
Manisha, that's for a curry for 4 people that Phil's poured. How much should be used?
I think with that amount of oil, you could make a curry for about 15 people.
15.
That'd be your street.
For 4 people, you would need no more than about 2 tablespoons. And that would be about, at the most.
I can't even see that hardly in there.
Yeah.
You know, that you can see, you know. I don't think we could go swimming in there, but I think the food could.
I want Jan and Phil to realise that the taste isn't in the fat and, where possible, to cut it out of their diet.
And how much oil is in that?
That's 2 tablespoons.
Normally, you two would have put
30.
many a true word. Just think how flatter your tummies are going to be when you start cooking like this.
Okay, and this is done.
It's time for lunch. You might think that giving these guys a plate of delicious food is asking for trouble.
Thank you very much.
Looking at Phil's face, he can't wait to dig in, can he?
All you got to do is give me a shovel.
They're used to wolfing down huge portions, but I've got a trick up my sleeve to help them eat less.
We're going to eat with toothpicks.
Okay.
All right?
Is that a bunch for me, then?
When you're trying to lose weight, the slower you eat, the better. I'm making Jan and Phil take 20 minutes. That's how long the body needs to decide it's full. By forcing them to take longer over their food, they'll eat less but still be satisfied.
"19 minutes you made."
I can't eat no more, I've had enough.
But how does that compare to how you'd normally eat?
Yes, I haven't eaten as much, but I can honestly say I do feel full up now.
The 20 minutes is up, so guess what? I can use my knife and fork. Should have waited.
Smaller portions and less oil will help the hussies, but food is only part of the story. They've been spending far too long sitting down, and it's about time they started exercising.
Here she is.
We're meeting Kaylee in central London. Sticking with the Indian theme, I've got just the thing.
I thought we'd do something a little bit different. I thought we needed a bit of exercise, a bit of activity, so we are doing a Bollywood dancing class. Come on, let's go. Follow me, come on.
1, 2, 3. Join in. Going shoulder, 2, 3, 4. Out and in, out, shoulder, 2, 3, 4. Good. 2.
Watch out, Bollywood, the hussies are coming.
Watch me. Shoulder, 2, 3. Look to the right. 5.
India won't know what's hit it. My approach to losing weight is simple. Just eat less and move more. And if exercise is fun, you'll keep doing it.
And 3. Very good. Can I take it up a level?
No.
Yes, take it up a level.
Okay. And
Phil Hussey, that's not the attitude. They may be overweight, but an hour's dance class just goes to show that this family are quite capable of exercise. Coming up, I'm putting an end to binge drinking.
Now I've seen that, I'm calling time at the bar.
And no matter what the excuse is, the scales never lie.
That result isn't brilliant. I think you and me need a little chat.
The happy-go-lucky Hussey family have been gobbling up the grub and binging on booze for far too long. I'm Steve Miller, and I'm spending a week showing this fulsome threesome how to get down to a healthy size. My next challenge is to tackle Phil and Jan's biggest weight gain culprit, alcohol.
Hi, Steve.
Are you all right?
Yeah.
I think we need to talk booze.
It all comes down to massive quantities, stuff full of hidden calories. But I don't think they've got any idea how much they're packing away. I want to see how a Hussey's typical portion measures up.
Pour me a glass of what you normally drink. But I tell you what, you better use that glass, haven't you?
Yeah, I think so. That's one from my house, isn't it?
You noticed.
Yeah.
A bottle of wine contains 6 standard glasses, but incredibly, Phil only gets 3 out of his.
That is about a third of a bottle of wine.
Which is quite worrying.
That's 170 calories per glass, and when you add in beer and spirits, it's a frightening amount.
How many calories a week do you think you were taking in through alcohol?
I wouldn't have a clue. Not a clue.
It's actually 10,200 calories a week. That is 2 days' calories for both of you. You've been living on booze.
Oh, yeah, as well.
Well, we know that bit.
This is definitely not something to be proud of. I dread to think what it's doing to their livers. I want them to see for themselves how much booze that really is. Hopefully it'll make them cut down.
This is your weekly intake of booze. Well, the weekly intake of booze before the heart attack. 12 bottles of wine.
Yep.
10 pints of lager.
Yep.
Nearly a full pint of brandy. Nearly a full pint of vodka.
Yep.
Does this shock you?
Seeing it out like that, it does.
Yeah, but...
Because when you're at home, you just literally get your glass and you pour the wine and you don't see it like this.
No.
Now, remembering this equates to around 10,200 calories per week.
Wow.
1.5 kilos of fat on the body. And do you know what, Jan and Phil Hussey? Now I've seen that, I'm calling time at the bar.
My week with the Hussies is almost over. When I leave, they'll have almost 3 months on their own to lose as much weight as possible. The trick is to keep them motivated, and the best way to do that is to get them involved with their own plan of action.
But I think we should start walking to the shops. We have got a supermarket that is about 30 to 40 minutes away. I'm sure at least once a week we should walk there and back.
I don't think so much about being on a diet. I want to think positive how I'm going to look at the end of it.
That is a great attitude to have. So here we've got a great start. We've got a Huzzy family action plan. Yep. Normally, today, you'd be sitting on sofas, probably eating and watching some telly. Mm-hmm. So, what are we going to do then?
We're going to go for a walk.
Yeah.
You want action? Well, the enthusiasm in the room at the moment doesn't seem very high. You see, this is the thing. This is words.
Come on, get your shoes on.
Better. This is words, and all I'm really interested in is action. So, come on, what are we doing?
We're getting our shoes on.
We're going to get our trainers on.
Fair enough. Get your shoes on then.
Oh, we're not going out there for walking, are we? Is it a joke?
Oh dear, that's not exactly the start I was looking for. With all this beautiful countryside around them, I can't believe they'd rather sit in and watch TV.
Did you see their faces when I said to them, what action are we going to take now? And it was like a complete shock. What do we do? They're doing this, but I've got a question. Are they going to keep this up?
I want the Huzzies to lose £3 each every week. With a bit of effort, they should be able to make that 3 stone in total. It's my last day with the Huzzy family, but before I go, I want to make sure they've got every tool available. So I've even made over Phil and Jan's house. There'll be no more lazy car journeys now the whole family have got their own bikes. I've bought a fabulous pair of heels to give Jan a special incentive. And with their own treadmill, this will never be called a sitting room again.
Welcome to your house.
Oh my
Come on
God.
in.
Wow! Oh!
I can't believe it.
I love it. I love all the red. It looks lovely.
Now, I did want some decoration in here, and I wanted to remind you of something. Mm-hmm. I've decorated in red and white, and it's hearts.
Hearts, yeah.
Because we've got to look after your heart.
Yeah.
And I know that I talked to you in a very, very direct way and in quite a shocking way about the heart to get you guys to realise the importance of it. But I did that because I actually care.
Of course, Phil's health is crucial, but I'm worried about Jan's confidence too.
I want to show you this, Jan.
Wow.
I know she wants to look more glamorous, so I'm going to use these £500 designer shoes to motivate her.
Is it too tight?
Yeah.
Does it feel uncomfortable?
Yes.
All right. I want you to know that as the fat melts, if you can get into these shoes, they're all yours.
Wow.
Is that the door?
Kaylee.
I'll get it.
Hello.
Kaylee, how you doing?
Oh my God! I love it. Is Spike's there?
Yes, no excuses. This is yours.
That's mine.
All yours. Don't want to see it with loads of dust on it in 12 weeks' time.
Lots of sweat.
That's more like it. Lots of sweat. And you too. You might laugh.
I may be leaving the Huzzies, but I'll be watching them closely. GPS trackers will tell me when they're using the car, and activity monitors will show how many calories they're burning off.
Now, you wear this
At all times?
at all times, except in the shower or the bath.
Okay.
Wear it in bed as well.
It won't be that active.
No. I don't know about Kaylee's.
Only the Huzzies could think that way.
As a final guarantee, I've had a camera installed, so I can see what they're up to 24/7. It's time to put an end to fat bums on sofas.
Very much
Right,
appreciated.
I'm off, but I will be back.
Phil, Jan and Kaylee now have 11 weeks to lose as much weight as possible. While the Huzzies are on their own for now, I'm turning my attention to some other potential fatties. You lot at home.
Now, we all know there's calories in food, but just like the Huzzies, I bet you haven't got a clue how many calories you're knocking back on the old booze, and it all mounts up, you know. Well, I'm in London Spitalfield Market and about to show you exactly what I mean. How many of you like your booze?
How Alcohol is far from harmless fun. On top of the damage to your liver, long-term drinking can really pile on the pounds. Take wine. There are 550 calories in each bottle. That's the same as 10 shots or half a pint of cream.
That surprises you, doesn't it?
It does.
That shocks me.
So how well do people know what they're packing away on a big night out?
How many shots of cream would equate to 5 cranberry and vodkas? 15. 12. 5. It's actually 19 shots of cream.
5 vodka cranberries might be a night out's booze for some people, but they contain almost 1,000 calories. That's half a woman's allowance for the whole day.
Who likes their lager?
I do.
So, how many shots of cream do you think would equate to 6 pints of lager?
12.
12?
I'd say 25.
25?
18.
18? It's actually the same calorie content as 30.
That's 1,500 calories, and to burn that lot off, you'd have to run more than half a marathon.
The booze you're putting in, it doesn't just harm your liver, it can harm your waistline.
Oh, no way. I'm quite shocked.
In Essex, the hussies have started my regime, but the reality of what lies ahead is quickly sinking in.
Hate exercising. Every time I look at that treadmill, I think, my God, how am I going to do that? I've never, ever been on one before.
I've asked them to do 1 hour of exercise a day and see a personal trainer once a week. They've also agreed to cut their calories by almost half. That's 2,500 a day for Phil and 2,000 for the girls. But most importantly, I want them to cut right back on alcohol.
I've been offered glasses of wine, but I just say no.
The only thing I've drunk is water. I've not even had a drink, but I don't know if I'm getting the shakes or not.
With fewer calories going in and more being burnt off, the results at the end of the first week are staggering.
I'd lost 8 pounds and I was really pleased with that.
I've lost 7 pounds, so there's some fat gone from somewhere.
It's a different story for Kaylee, who has lost 2 pounds.
You can take your coat off. I could have cried, actually. I was that disappointed with it. I hadn't let anything bad pass my lips. But I thought, well, I'm not going to let it get the better of me. I'm going to prove them wrong this week and I'll lose double.
But 3 weeks later, Kaylee's weight loss has slowed. In the past 7 days, she's lost only 1 pound, and excuses are starting to creep in.
I am struggling to fit the exercise into my normal weekly routine, and I don't feel like I can physically do any more.
Kaylee is obviously finding it hard, but she's not alone. 5 or 6 weeks in is when most people give up on a weight loss regime. So it's a good time to meet up with all 3 of them and make sure they stay on track.
Hiya, how are you?
I set them a target of £3 weight loss a week, so I'm hoping each of them will have lost at least 15 pounds. First up is Phil.
You've done it.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic start. He's lost 22 pounds and Jan almost as much with 21.
Guys, that is a lot of weight. The proof's in the pudding. Yeah. And the pudding is shrinking.
That's it.
Isn't it?
They've done well, but the person I'm most worried about is Kaylee.
That's reading 13 stones 13 and a quarter. That result isn't brilliant.
Kaylee's lost 8 pounds. That's only just over £1 a week. I know she can do better than that.
I physically don't think I can do it anymore.
I think you and me need a little chat.
Coming up, there's fighting talk from Kaylee.
Time will tell and I will do it. I'll prove them wrong.
At the final weigh-in, will my shock tactics have paid off?
Jan, no way.
No! The Hussey family are halfway through 11 weeks of weight loss, but it's not all been plain sailing.
Phil and Jan are on target to lose £3 a week, just as I asked. But when it comes to Kaylee, it's a different matter. All I keep getting from her is excuses, and excuses don't melt fat.
I thought I'd given Kaylee all the motivation she needed when I showed her what life would be like, the size of her mum.
My body feels tired already and I haven't even moved.
Fat people get tired very, very quickly.
I'm convinced she can lose £3 a week. It's time for some tough talk to get her back on track.
Now, missus, what's been happening? One of the weeks was a £1 loss. To be quite frank, you could have gone to the toilet and lost that.
Well, I feel personally I've done the best I can. Obviously, I'm struggling for time trying to fit the exercise into my normal working day.
People that want results, that want to ditch fat, have to do something. It doesn't come to you, you have to go and get it.
No, I agree.
There's something I want to give you to remind you of why we're doing this, and also to remind you of what will happen if you do nothing moving forward. That's for your sofa. Put that on your sofa and you'll realise every time you just sit on your backside on the sofa, look at that, that's what'll be you. Your placemat. Do you use a computer at work?
Yeah.
Mouse mat. And put that on your fridge before the night's out.
Thank you.
Oh, I haven't quite finished yet. Just to remind you
Thank you.
what life will be if you don't start ditching some of that extra portion.
Thinking about it overnight, I'm really angry about it, actually. I was a bit annoyed because, yeah, my mum and dad have lost a lot more weight than me, but they're a lot bigger than me. I'm not keeping those pictures of myself in a fat suit. I don't need his encouragement. I've got the encouragement of myself, and I'll prove to him that I can lose that extra 11 pounds. Time will tell, and I will do it. I'll prove him wrong.
OK, so that might not have gone according to my original plan, but it's the most determined Kaylee's been to lose the lard. Of course, she's probably imagining me as a punch bag, but over the next 6 weeks, the whole family steps up the effort.
And 1. Great work. Well done, both of you. Well done.
They've come to the end of their 11 weeks. When I first met them, this was a family in crisis. Phil was recovering from a heart attack, Kaylee's cholesterol was dangerously high, and some days Jan didn't even want to leave the house. But things have obviously changed, and to celebrate, I've arranged for them to have a complete makeover at a top London salon. Just for fun, I'm keeping them apart until the end of the day.
Really pretty eyes, you've got really nice shaped face, and I just think if we get rid of the back, we're going to see a lot more.
Try and go for a V-neck when you're looking for a jumper, because it's all about the eye and where the eye is drawn, and if you've got a V pointing down, it kind of slims everything down.
I'm heading to the salon for the Huzzies' final weigh-in, but first I want to see their fantastic new looks.
Nice, Phil.
How you doing?
Good
to see you.
Incredible! You can see how much weight Phil's lost off his face.
What do you think?
Yeah, good. Yeah, I'm pleased.
It's been a tough journey for Phil. I used some of my harshest tactics to motivate him. I really want to know if they've worked.
I was quite, some would say quite brutal.
Yeah.
Can you understand now why I did it?
Yeah, I can understand it. It was brutal, but for me, it was just a little bit more fuel you put in my fire for me to go forward. And my fire started burning harder, and while that was burning, I was burning the fat.
Necklace on. How does it feel? Does it feel different to what you would have worn, say, 3 months ago?
Yeah, definitely. It's a lot different. I can't wait to see it in the mirror.
Now, this is one I'm dying to see. Kaylee! Oh, my God. You look amazing. See if I can tears here. Look at that.
I didn't really used to look in the mirror, to be honest, because it's not something you want to see. But I can feel and see that I've lost weight.
You look fantastic, don't you?
Thank you. And
Absolutely
thank you for your help.
You deserved it. Give us a hug. A nice, good, long one.
Now, I think that this is still a bit big.
Really?
This is a size 20. I would honestly say you're a size 18.
Wow, that's good because I've been buying 24s.
24 down to an 18.
I'm really pleased with that.
Here she comes. Oh, yes! Fantastic. Come here. What's been the hardest bit for you?
Oh, definitely the exercising.
Really?
But it's all been worth it.
But look at you. Yeah, I know, that's what I like, the confidence.
Yeah.
Look at me,
Yeah.
do you know?
It's all been worth it.
would you feel generally much more confident now you've lost so much weight?
Yes, definitely.
I used Jan's desire to look better to keep her motivated.
Is it too tight?
Yeah.
I left her with a pair of £500 designer shoes and promised her that if she could get them on, they were hers to keep. It's time to see if the slipper now fits.
I don't know if they're going to fit because last time they were very tight.
Go on, put your foot in. Yes.
It's brilliant. Jan has lost so much weight that even her feet are slimmer.
You got them on?
I know.
You got them on?
Believe him.
I have to say, and you're probably thinking it as well, they don't go with this outfit.
No.
But I want you to party in them, enjoy them, and feel that confidence.
I will. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Come on, give us a hug.
It's time to reunite the family.
Meet your wife.
Oh my God, they're beautiful. They're really nice.
And you have a daughter.
Oh my God.
You look beautiful, darling.
The hussies look fabulous, but I'm dying to know how well they've done. I set them each a target of £3 weight loss a week. That's £33 in total. This is the moment of truth.
I'm going to start with you, Phil. 12 weeks ago, you weighed 22 stone, 4 pounds. You now weigh 18 stone, 12 pounds.
No. Well done.
Amazing, mate. That is brilliant.
Phil used to weigh a monumental 22 stone 4, but in just 11 weeks he's lost an incredible 48 pounds and a massive 7 inches off his waist. And he's dramatically reduced his chances of having another heart attack.
Jan, you weighed 19 stone exactly. You now weigh 15 stone, 7 pounds.
No.
Well done.
Are you all right?
Yeah, no, I'm fine. Yeah,
No, you done
just
well.
a bit shocked. I can't believe it.
When I first met her, Jan was 19 stone and rising. But having lost a huge 49 pounds and 5 inches off her waist, she has every reason to feel more confident.
Kaylee, 12 weeks ago, you weighed 14 stone, 7 pounds. You now weigh 12 stone, 11 pounds.
Oh my God, well done.
Excellent.
Excellent.
At 14.5 stone, Kaylee was on the slippery slope to joining her mum as a massive fatty. Now she's 24 pounds lighter, and with 5 inches off her waist, it's a great start to her weight loss. I'm really proud of them all.
As a family, you've lost 8 stone, 9 pounds.
Oh my God, that's a person.
It's a person. Yeah. It's gone. There's one other thing, which was the test with you, Kaylee, which came out showing you had high cholesterol. Yeah. You've been retested today. It's normal. You've done it.
Okay,
You've done it.
Well done.
Well done.
So it's all, everything was well worth it.
Well done.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
right. Yeah.
Well done, thank you.
Thank you.
We couldn't have done it without you, Steve.
Do that
You're
again.
the one that motivated us and got us off our backsides and got us moving.
Yeah, definitely. And we can't thank you enough for that, you know.
Thank you. Thank you, Steve. Thank you.
Well done, guys.
What an incredible and inspirational result for the hussies. And they've proved with a bit of determination and motivation, losing weight is easy. And if they can do it, you can do it.
Two teams go head-to-head in the battle to transform their bodies and their health and become the biggest loser over on Sky Real Lives 1 at 9. That's followed by more extraordinary weight loss stories and Diet Tribe at 10. Next, it's Got to Dance.